And Oregon State Police are blaming a deadly crash on a driver texting behind the wheel. This happened along Highway 30 near Rainier. The victim was on his bike when he was hit, and police say the man who did it took off. Cor Harlan going beyond the headlines tonight.
Out here along Highway 30, there is a memorial that's been set up to honor Peter Linden, who died here Saturday afternoon by a man I've learned does not have a valid driver's license. For his wife and daughter, it has been a torturous weekend grieving their loss. Late Monday afternoon, Ellie Linden came to the memorial site along Highway 30 west of Rainier, where her husband was killed Saturday, to retrieve his eyeglasses that were left at the scene. I found out that Oregon State Police have charged 34-year-old Christopher Woodruff of Vernonia with first-degree manslaughter and felony hit and run in connection with Linden's death. The state police's initial investigation indicates that Christopher Woodruff became distracted while checking a text message on his phone while he was driving westbound on Highway 30. He got distracted, drifted onto the shoulder, the police report says, and struck and killed 74-year-old Peter Linden, whose body was found down a steep embankment just off Highway 30.
I loved my husband very much, and you know, it was heartbreaking for me, the way that he died and that I wasn't there.
In between bouts of crying and overwhelming sadness this Labor Day weekend, there are memories of her husband that Ellie Linden carries with her that bring a big smile to her face. I found out that Peter Linden was a retired St. Helens City attorney, an avid bike rider as well. And Peter had also been fighting cancer for several years.
We'd go to the doctor's office and he'd check in and they'd say, "How are you doing, Peter?" He says, "I'm upright." And every day was a blessing for him.
Ellie tells me she and her husband both knew that cancer would eventually end his life, and she says in some ways that prepared her for her husband's passing.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that this young man took my husband's life and that he ran. And I have a real difficulty with that.
Peter had just finished his latest round of chemotherapy when he was killed. He has a lifetime's worth of good memories for his grieving wife and daughter, who will both now go on without the man they both love. In Rainier, Cor Harlan, KOIN 6 News.